How long do you think that flight was for them to get to you?
It was probably 2 hours.
So she laid there
for 2 hours. And then two of the other airplanes were A-1Es with the blue room behind, and all the dozens of people were getting out of those because that was just, there was plenty of room for them. It was just weight. And I climbed up on the wing after the guy got out, and it's interesting because these security police made no effort to stop me because I got my pilot wings on and I got my line badge, and they figure I knew what I was doing. There were instruments missing out of the instrument panel. The Yankee extraction system was fully pinned, and I realized the reason it was fully pinned was it wasn't functional. Some of the lines weren't even connected, so he had no parachute, no escape system at all. But we watched these people, and then I realized I needed to go get back on the airplane because I needed to go back to Karat. Well, 2 days later, the phone rings, and it's Roger Youngblood who says, "Randy, we've got these 4 A-1s at Utapau." I said, "Roger, I'm way ahead of you. I was standing there when they landed." He said, "Oh, okay." He said, "Well, we need to go down and fly them up to Kokatiem or
Kokli, wasn't it?
Yeah, to someplace, yeah. And you need to come help us." I said, "Roger, I climbed all over those airplanes. I'm not going to go fly one of those airplanes." I said, "That's not a good idea." And I said, "Besides, I'm not sure my wing commander would, let me do that anyway." He says, "Okay, well, we'll take." So as you know the story, he and his friend,
Jack Drummond.
Yeah, Jack Drummond, went down and took care of that.
By the time they got there were 12 A1s sitting there.
Oh, wow.
And he found a crew chief, and he said, "We got to start getting these out of there." So they started with the best of the best that were in the least of the worst shape.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And they got 4 out. Well, they got all the F5s out. They were smuggling everything they could for Adderholt. So Adderholt sent them in to get everything out that they could. He did not want that to fall into the hands of the North.
Oh yeah, and he was a hero for doing that because the Thais felt politically obligated that they somehow needed to give him back if something didn't
work out.
Didn't happen.
So and it was an amazing story.
So I've got another quick story about the Thais. At Don Mueang Airport in Bangkok was a company called Thai Am. And Thai Am was the depot overhaul facility for A-1s in the theater. And they would basically take an airplane and take it down, scrape the paint off, repaint it. And so the airplanes that came back to NKP from Thai Am and Don Mueang looked like new airplanes.